big Moses Itauma, everyone's favorite 21-year-old that looks like a 42-year-old, is going in there against the tried and tested, hard-hitting, iron chin veteran Filip Hrgovic for the IBF World title this weekend. And I am here to say that Moses Itauma is what he says he is. He is the real deal. He is the man, and I think he's going to get it done over Filip Hrgovic. Now, I hear a lot of people saying stuff like this. I hear a lot of glaze for Moses Itauma. You know, I'll be watching the TalkSport boxing. You know, I'm mainly an MMA guy. I'm mainly an MMA fan. But when it comes to boxing, I like the big events. I like to see what's going on. These big world title fights, they are spectacles. They are major, major events. And I tune in, man. I tune in. I've been listening to fucking Simon Jordan yapping away, these boxing old head fans yarning away, glazing the absolute living shit out of Moses Itauma, just sucking this bloke dry paws. And to be honest with you, I've bought into the hype. Moses Itauma is the next generation of heavyweight. He's young, he's fast, he's hard-hitting, he does not get hit, he's elusive. To me, he's a better version of Tyson Fury. Even though he might not be as big as Tyson Fury, he might not have the size, he's got the speed, the athleticism, and the discipline, it seems. And I'm not just going off based on hype. I'm not just going on, you know, what everyone's been saying about this fight. I've actually gone back and I've watched some Moses Itauma fights. I remember watching a couple of them live, but I've gone back and I've watched them and I've done a bit of analysis myself. Yeah, this guy, this clown here has been doing analysis. Yeah, don't worry, boys. MMA Forever's got you covered. I specifically watched a Dillian Whyte fight. Now, Dillian Whyte is kind of a shit fighter. Let's just keep it real, right? He's kind of ploddy, two-dimensional, gets hit a lot. That's his whole thing. But the way Itauma went in there and just dismantled him in that first round with speed, the hand speed on this guy is genuinely insane. The footwork is underrated. I hear everyone talks about the hand speed. The hand speed's obvious. The hand speed's fucking obvious. The fucking footwork on this bloke is absolutely insane. The amount of movement that this guy does in the ring, it's like a prime Usyk in there. You know, we see Usyk these days, he's slowing down a lot. Itauma's like a prime Usyk, and this guy's 21 years old. This guy's 1 year older than me. This guy's literally 1 year older than me. He looks fucking 40. But, you know, what the fuck am I doing with my life for a start? But the fact that he's 21 years old and doing this is absolutely insane. The speed, the athleticism, the power, it's all a young man's thing. But the technique that he possesses at such a young age is incredibly impressive. And I think that's what's going to lead him towards being one of the front runners in the heavyweight division. And when he gets his title, because I believe it's relatively light work for him, when he gets his title, I think you're going to see a lot of the older generation, a lot of the legends in the sport, like Tyson Fury, like Anthony Joshua, even Usyk, you know, ducking this guy. I feel like no one's going to want to fight him because you've seen the body of work that he's put together. Now, you know, it's not insane. A lot of them are punching bags that he's beaten up on. Marius Watch, obviously 46-year-old, part-time plumber, part-time boxer. Dempsey, McLean, not really too sure who that bloke is. Apparently he's an Australian, so fair play. Jermaine Franklin and Dillian Whyte have been his big kind of come out of the closet, pause type wins, kind of, you know, coming to the party, I should say, rather, wins that have really brought him into the spotlight, and especially that Dillian Whyte performance, which has got him the title shot, obviously. But, you know, Hrgovic is no joke. He's got a win over Zheli Zhang. I remember watching that fight live. It was a war, back and forth, incredibly hard-earned, hard-fought victory. Hrgovic is legit. I'm not just going to sit here and glaze fucking Moses Itauma for 5-10 minutes straight. You know, Hrgovic is a solid test. Hrgovic probably gives Tyson Fury, at this point in Tyson Fury's career, I'm not sure if they've fought before, but if they fought right now, Hrgovic probably gives him troubles. You know, decently quick for the division, hard-hitting, durable. I mean, he's got everything it takes to be a world champion right now, but he's going in there against, in my opinion, a phenom in Moses Itauma, and I think he's going to come unstuck. The Joe Joyce performance was impressive. You know, even the Dave Allen fight was good. There's some standout wins, and people are calling to the experience of Filip Hrgovic He's had like 30, 40 pro fights at this point in his career. He's had a lot of professional fights, a lot of professional bouts. He's been in the ring a lot of amateur fights. He's got a good record. He's a decent he's a very good fighter. And people are saying that Itauma's too young, he's too green. But if you go ahead and you watch the fights, I know it's recency bias. I really know it's recency bias, but this kid, Moses Itauma, has something special about him. You know, maybe not in the interviews. He kind of sits there a little bit dead. But when it comes to the fights, this kid is a fucking prodigy. And I just thought I had to get on here and absolutely glaze the shit out of this guy. Because the hand speed, the footwork, the movement, the power, the elusiveness, the head movement, he has everything it takes to go on a massive generational run in the heavyweight division. And he could be boxing's next big superstar, especially coming out of the UK. Listen, I know he's got the charisma of a wet blanket. And the wet blanket you left in the corner of your room, more specifically, that you've forgotten about, that's starting to stink a little bit. I know he's got that charisma, but, you know, it doesn't matter when you can fight like he can fight. Anthony Joshua's not exactly a wordsmith. Yeah, I get it. He's freaking handsome and charming and cool, and he's got aura, and Tyson Fury's funny, makes people laugh and entertaining. But, you know, these guys aren't exactly crazy fucking personalities either. It's not so far-fetched to believe that Moses Itauma can't fit right in there as some stoic killer. They can sell him as that. Tyson Fury's this joker. Usyk, it wasn't too long ago people were calling Usyk unfunny and uncharismatic, and no one gave a shit about him until he started winning and kept winning, right? So people will give a shit about this kid, even if he's not the fucking Greek god looking Anthony Joshua or the quick-witted, gift of the gab having Tyson Fury. Even if he doesn't possess those attributes, the fact that he can do what he can do inside that ring at 21 years of age, at such a young age, is incredibly impressive and will lead towards him being a massive star. And we know how England is. They love their boxing. They love a bit of fish and chips. They love a beer at the pub, and they love boxing. Those are the three things in this world that you can guarantee a British person loves. That and having bad teeth and having bad weather. You can guarantee a British person is going to love boxing. And Moses Itauma has all the potential to bring boxing back to the UK, because it's slowly dying out there. It's slowly dying out there. You've got the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua super fight, which was supposed to happen 5 years ago, falling apart allegedly. You've got Tyson Fury calling AJ a bum who's ducking him. You've got AJ sitting there, you know, not really sure what's going on. Eddie Hearn's allegedly pulling the strings. We're not too sure what's going to happen. The fight might be happening in Vegas, which would be an absolute travesty, because it wouldn't be on British soil and it wouldn't be at UK time. UK fans, most of them, would probably miss it because they'd be asleep. It'll be at like 2, 3 in the morning for UK fans if they ran it in Vegas. So you've got one of the biggest British super fights of all time slipping through our fingertips. Both of those men are going to be retiring very soon. AJ's out of his prime. Fury's definitely out of his prime. Both men are aging. We need a new superstar out of the UK, and Moses Itauma is that thing. He is that guy, and I think he's going to clean this division out. I think he runs through all these guys. Joe Parker, love Joe Parker. New Zealand guy, fucking the man, bro. I love this guy. Bit of a dodgy cunt when it comes to the coke and all the fucking shit he's been doing outside the ring, but for the most part, great boxer, great dude. He's not fucking stiffing a world title anytime soon. Joe Joyce should retire. Who else we got? Chizora's retired. You know, Abiel, I can't even remember his fucking name, the guy who went in there against Usyk. He's not doing anything special anytime soon. The German bloke. You know, he's not going to be in there. Rico Verhoeven is a kickboxer and, you know, had a fluke performance against Usyk. He's not going to be any kind of star in the heavyweight division. Usyk's going to retire soon. Wilder's done. There's no massive stars in the heavyweight division except for Moses Itauma, and he's going to go through all these guys, and he's got super fight after super fight after super fight lined up. I just hope people don't duck him, and I hope he has a good outing against Filip Hrgovic, because as much as I like Hrgovic as a character, stoic, strong guy, fighter, respect, all that type of stuff, he's not the young, marketable fighter that Moses Itauma is. Moses Itauma can bring boxing back to the UK. He can bring primetime boxing back to the UK, and he can make the sport massive again, despite the fact that he might not really be much of a talker. So that's my little breakdown. I think the fight's going to go relatively relatively one-sidedly. I think Hrgović gets hit way too much. He relies on his chin. That's a thing he likes to kind of be proud of. And I remember Itauma brought that up in an interview. He said the worst thing you can brag about as a boxer is having a good chin. And that's facts, because everyone in combat sports who has a good chin eventually gets it cracked. Eventually, that shit breaks. Max Holloway against Ilia Topuria. Eventually, that shit snaps in half and the writing's on the ceiling for the rest of your career. If you rely solely on having a great chin, you're not going to go too far when you face a guy who's young, fast, and can hit hard. And that's the brick wall that he's up against, Moses Itauma. So it's going to be a relatively one-sided fight, in my opinion. I see Itauma picking him apart on the feet, and I see a late 8th, 9th round TKO. I think Hrgović is going to be a lot harder to finish than Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's very chinny, but I think he's going to get it done, and I think this is a coming home performance for Moses Itauma. Winning the IBF World title opens up a myriad of doors for him, and like I've said throughout this video, he walks through Hrgović, he walks through every other contender in the heavyweight division that will fight him, because let's be realistic, Fury's not going to fight him, AJ's not going to fight him, Usyk's definitely not going to fight him, Wilder's not going to fight him. He's not going to get one of these legend matchups. But if he does fight against Joe Parker, if he does fight against, Daniel Dubois, I feel like he does exceptionally well against these guys. And he's in for super fights. So I think he walks through Hrgović, and I think he's going to be a massive star in this heavyweight division. And much needed next generation as the old guard is retiring. The Usyks, the Furies, the Wilders, the Joshuas. As those guys are leaving, we need this new injection of talent, and Moses Itauma is at the forefront of that. And I think he's going to do great this weekend. Let me know your thoughts, predictions, and maybe what you think about the heavyweight division, what you think about this landscape. It's the premier division in boxing. We see in the UFC, it's kind of dead. In boxing, it's always on fire. There's always a new contender, and Moses Itauma is that next contender. I think he's that guy. I think he's him. He might get fraud checked, but that's just my honest opinion. I think he's going to go far in this division. Like and subscribe. Thanks for checking out the video. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 400 subs by the end of this month, so click that subscribe button if you liked what you heard. Or if you didn't, just fucking dislike this shit, bro. Just keep it real. All right, I'll see you boys in the next one. Much love.